He tried to break me, Dominique Gardner, one of R.Kelly's longtime girlfriends, speak out. I'm sorry if my throat sounded a little scratchy, y'all. I'm smoking a blunt. Dominique Gardner, who dated the R&B star R. Kelly for 9 years, described some of the consequences of disobeying Kelly, including spankings, slappings, and beatings. Early last Thursday morning, I received the latest in a series of calls from Dominique Gardner, a former girlfriend of R. Kelly, who said she was eager when we met that night to give my truth. For 9 years, Gardner, who is 27, was one of Kelly's lovers. For part of that time, she says she was one of 6 women living with the singer. In the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly, Gardner appears in the final 2 episodes. We watch as her mother, Michelle Kramer, tracks her down to a Los Angeles hotel room and convinces her to leave the singer's cult. Gardner told me that she has not watched any of these dramatic scenes nor any part of the documentary. What is the point of seeing it when I lived it, she said. People are using it as entertainment when it really wasn't entertainment for me, you know? After being reunited with her mother last May, Gardner returned to Kelly's side 3 days later and stayed with him for about 2 more weeks until she finally walked away for good. She is now living on the north side of Chicago, working and saving money for a studio apartment of her own. I would probably still be there if he would have let me go to my little brother's graduation, she said. I'd still be there. But when he told me no, I'm like, what is wrong with you? You don't let people see their families, I guess, because we might realize how much freedom and happiness we have out there with our families. Family meant a lot to Gardner, who grew up in Chicago's southwestern suburbs. She was especially close to her younger brother, and missing our family gatherings while she was with Kelly bothered her. She had always been a good student. Kramer wanted her to be a dental hygienist. Gardner aspires to be a writer and a poet. Gardner looked healthy and happier than she did when we had last met in July. At that point, she had left Kelly a month earlier and was startlingly underweight. We had met in a bar in Chicago where she spoke haltingly while looking out the big plate glass windows, watching for any black SUVs that might stop and linger. I wouldn't put it past him to have his guys following me, she said on Thursday. As in the past, we started by talking about music. We are both big fans of Kendrick Lamar and our tattoos. She said she admires how I am all tatted up with the logos of more than a dozen of my favorite bands clearly visible on my forearms. Only one of her tattoos, a lion's head, on the back of her right hand can be readily seen. And if I asked if she had others, she said that she also has 2 images of Kelly's face, one on her left leg and another on her rib cage. A particularly painful place to get a tattoo, she notes. For the final years of Gardner's time dating Kelly, the group of women also living with him included Joycelyn Savage and Azriel Clary, who were still with the singer. Last week, Savage and Clary defended Kelly in an interview with Gayle King on CBS This Morning. They told King that they love Kelly and are living where they choose to live, but they also appeared scripted and defensive on camera. Later, King described how Kelly hovered in the background while Clary and Savage were interviewed. He coughed loudly and at times as if to remind the 2 women that he was within earshot. One of my first questions for Dominique was if she regrets spending a third of her life with R. Kelly. No, she said, I loved him to death. You know what I'm saying? But he needs help. Who doesn't need help? The word cult is one that Gardner rejects, and so is brainwashed. I am not just about to spread lies about him, she said. But she struggles to find a better way to describe a situation that, according to her, people don't really understand, at least not the way she does. I wouldn't even say mind games. It was just the fact that he tried to break me, she said. I couldn't be broken. He wanted that control over me, and I wouldn't give him that power. So he figured, like, if I don't give her food, she'll come around. Nope. I'd rather die than come around and give you my soul. Keeping up with the news about Kelly in recent weeks has been dizzying. On February 21st, the New Yorker reported that the Department of Homeland Security is investigating him for sex trafficking and violations of the Mann Act. The next day, Kelly was indicted by the state of Illinois on 10 counts of aggravated abuse involving 4 victims, 3 of them minors. He spent 3 nights in jail before a woman who identified herself in court papers as a friend posted his $100,000 bond. On March 5th, King conducted an 80-minute interview with Kelly at the Trump Tower in Chicago, where he now lives. Kelly spent the next 3 nights in jail for failing to pay $161,000 in back child support payments until an anonymous donor paid the court. Kelly was released on Saturday night. In the interview with King, Kelly became histrionic, crying, standing up, and directly addressing the cameras, which prompted an avalanche of internet memes and the cold open of last week's episode of Saturday Night Live. The singer insisted that he was innocent of all the charges and accusations against him, and he branded all the women speaking out against him as liars. "I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man," he told King. "I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster." Although Dominique did not watch the full interview, she had seen that snippet. "That's not genuine. That's the devil talking," she said, talking about "I'm not Lucifer." Yes, you are. But she is clearly conflicted about Kelly. She also insisted that he is a giver because when everything between me and him was good, oh my God, it was like perfect. But as soon as he got mad, he turns into a person like, "Oh, what up, the new Rob?" At the end of the day, Dominique said, "I am not playing victim. I done did some shit." Dominique said that she slept with 2 other men while she was one of R.Kelly's girlfriends. "Maybe he did hurt. Maybe he was in love with me. But I never gave him a fair chance," she said. The desire to convey her complex feelings about life with R.Kelly is what prompted Gardner to first email me in July of 2018 with the all-cap subject line, "Privacy is everything." We traded many texts and emails before she decided that it was time to meet again and tell her story publicly for the first time. Every time we talked, I asked her if she was in therapy. She was initially reluctant, but last Thursday she said she finally had her first session with the counselor in early March. Dominique met Kelly in mid-2009 after a friend and fellow superfan, Geronda Johnson, whom she met on MySpace, passed along his phone number. Johnson, now Geronda Pace, is one of the 4 victims in the current Illinois charges against Kelly. According to prosecutors, Pace had sexual contact with him starting at age 16. She broke the non-disclosure agreement that she signed with R.Kelly by talking to me in August of 2017. Part of the motivation, she said, was because she was concerned that R.Kelly was mistreating her friend Dominique. In the summer of 2009, Dominique, who had just graduated from Hillcrest High School, enrolled to study dental hygiene, per her mother's wishes. Dominique said that she first became intimate with Kelly at the time when she was 17, the age of consent in Illinois. R.Kelly was then 42. Although she loved his music, Gardner said, "I was never starstruck with him because I didn't see the R.Kelly side. I saw the Robert side." Gardner continued to live in her mother's home for the first few years that she dated R.Kelly. Michelle did not approve, but Dominique saw the singer often, visiting him in the mansion that he owned in the Chicago suburb of Olympia Fields. On June 14, 2009, the police visited the mansion in search of Dominique after her family had called them concerned that the teenager was there with R.Kelly. Dominique wasn't there at the time. She was at a cousin's house, she said. Police did not have a search warrant and they left without taking any action. In 2015, Gardner quit school and began living with Kelly, whom she calls a musical genius, and 5 other steady girlfriends, in addition to 2 other women who came and went. The women who lived with Kelly stayed in one of the 2 homes he had rented in the Atlanta suburb of Johns Creek. "Atlanta is where he changed," Dominique said. "It was like something switched. Before that, I used to go home on a regular basis. I was able to call my family, then all of a sudden, it was no." Sources have said that the women who live with R.Kelly have to follow what he calls his rules. Dominique does not use that term and says some of what R.Kelly's accusers are saying is wrong. For example, she was allowed to watch television and connect with the internet, and there was no lock on no doors. If them 2 other girls, Joy and Azriel, want to walk out, they can do that. However, Dominique said that R.Kelly did take away his girlfriend's phones, replacing them with new ones to be used only with him. He did not allow them to contact their parents, family members, or friends. He decreed that they should all wear baggy gym clothes so other men could not admire their bodies, and he did not want them to look at or speak to other men, and they had to ask for permission to eat or go to the bathroom. "I couldn't even have a drink without his permission," Dominique said. "I'm a grown-ass woman, and I've got to ask you if I want a drink Everything you do, you have to ask him. That's not living. That's not normal. I've got to ask to use the fucking bathroom. Are you serious? I'm about to pee on myself. If I can't get in contact with you, what the fuck is this? Dominique said that she was the tomboy among Kelly's girlfriends and the most rebellious. She often disobeyed him and suffered what she called consequences, including spankings, slappings, beatings, and being hit with an extension cord. Once after she threw a carrot Once after she threw a carrot at R.Kelly, he grabbed me and pulled my hair out, and I had like patches torn from my hair, she said. The consequences came when Kelly felt as if we disrespected him or disobeyed him. I mean, he just gets on my nerves, y'all. Dominique, I already knew Dominique was the rebellious one, but when she said she threw that carrot at him, y'all, I'm sorry I laughed, but it was funny. It wasn't funny that she got her hair torn out, but it was funny that, she threw the carrot at him. Like a parent when your child goes against your word. I have asked Dominique several times why she stayed with R.Kelly for 9 years and what she believes is the source of his hold over the women who live with him. In the past, she has struggled to answer both questions. Finally, during our most recent meeting, she called up an image of the star on her new cell phone. It was his most recent mugshot. It's like, I know them eyes, she said. Every time I looked into his eyes, I knew he was sorry. Like when he hit us, he hit me, he was like, he apologized. Like he said, I done did some things and I apologized for it. I'm like, you did. But enough was enough. Yes, you did say, I'm sorry, okay, but then again, you do it again when shit don't go your way. Dominique said that R.Kelly will often discuss the sexual abuse that he claims that he suffered beginning at the age of 8 from an older female relative, and also his difficulties reading and writing. At the end of the day, he's a victim too because he went through some shit and people, they don't understand, she said. On the same day in March that Dominique had her first therapy session, she was visited at work by investigators from the Department of Homeland Security. They're like, we've been trying to reach you and talk to you. Dominique said, referring to the investigators, I'm like, about what? They gave me a card. I just ripped it up and I'm just whatever. I'm not talking to you guys. Dominique has been stung by criticism that she should have spoken out against R.Kelly sooner or that she should go to the authorities. When we spoke after Surviving R.Kelly aired, she told me, I just want to heal. I just want my privacy. People may disagree or hate me for what I'm saying, she continued. That's the reason why I never wanted to come out, because I'm not trying to defend him and what he has done, but at the end of the day, you don't understand what he's been through as a child. She said that she does not believe R.Kelly should be in jail. I feel like he should be on house arrest in a studio because, like I said, his music makes him get through the situations, what he's going through. Jail time, no. He needs to have a 24-hour therapist at his house. And she added, he needs to be honest about his behavior. Here, she addressed the man whom she claims to still love. You can stop the cycle, she said. Just be honest. People don't want you in jail. And to be honest, y'all, after I done sat here for 13 minutes and 30 seconds and read this entire article to you guys, I'm just like, girl, what the hell? What are you talking about, Dominique? That people don't want you in jail. Yes, we do. How you just gonna speak for all of us like that? Yes, we do want him in jail. We've been waiting almost a year for you to come out with your reply, and this is what you say? Oh. Y'all, give me a minute. So you mean to tell me, Dominique, that we should give R.Kelly a 24-hour therapist? Why? So he can start fucking her too? And messing her head up? Clearly how he did yours. Girl. Clearly there's something wrong with you and your mama. Y'all confused. Y'all don't know what y'all want. I mean, she want to keep going on interviews and doing movie deals and book deals. And here you are saying you don't want to talk about them at all because you still love them, basically. Where is Tasha K in part 2 of this video? Thank you so much, Jim, for writing this article for us all to read and enjoy. We really appreciate you and all your hard work that you've done over the years. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in with me on this video. And that's all I got for you guys. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and one more other thing. I feel like the only reason Dominique did this interview was because she had made that Instagram post or whatever, how she was like, Rob hasn't even been answering her calls. Okay, so you've been trying to contact him too? Girl, I'm not finna do this with you, Dominique, okay? And then I feel like the only reason she did this interview with Jim was because she knew that R.Kelly was gonna see it, and that was basically like getting her message passed along. Oh no, Then I forgot about this message that Geronda had wrote to Michelle Kramer saying, "You're full of shit. Why don't you tell the world how Dominique left Rob for damn near a year and you forced her to go back? Remember when I left him, Dominique left too. Better yet, talk about how you was using me for money. Where's that Louis Vuitton RCMM bag and that Louis Vuitton Josephine wallet? Why don't you talk about how I blocked Rob's number on my Sprint account when you and Dominique was on my Sprint line? I tried to keep him out of contact with her and you begged me. You begged me to unblock his number so that she could talk to him again. You're no angel. You knew what hotel they were at because you used to book the rooms. You want me to help you stage that fake ass rescue? You better speak the truth. You know I have receipts. Now point out the lie. I'll wait. Don't forget to tell the world how you won't allow Dominique to talk to the authorities because you'll go down too. Sick fuck. You was an enabler and now you're trying to cover your ass." Y'all, I totally forgot I even had that. Like, oh my God, y'all leave comments down below. Let me know what y'all think.